Hello, yes, thank you for tuning in to the Other People show. The original first 3 minutes of the show had complete static, so we're picking up right where I'm talking about my niece is recording a video, and you can check it out. So we're jumping right in. Thank you for tuning in. Singing a little song all morning. I guess the song that they maybe heard at church or something like that. So they sang that. So if you want to check that out, that's Maggie and Lydia. It's on YouTube. It's the latest video posted. So check that out. Also, if you want to go back and check out Happy Birthday, there's version 2 and there's version 1. So version 2 is out there, but version 1 is streaming as well. So please go and check that out. Some brand new things coming out on the Other People's channel. So everything's been going well personally. Can't say that things have been going bad or anything like that. Everything's been going well. Been keeping busy with the show, and that's something that I like to do, is to totally keep busy and keep my mind busy and occupied. So therefore, I don't really start thinking about problems or things that are wrong or thinking that I tend to do. And that leads me to think about past text messages or text messages in general. Excuse me. Now, do you typically, as a person that receives text messages, one, are you glued to the phone? Are you always glued to the phone? Now, I do have it often around, and I do scroll looking at updates on views, maybe checking out, the news, not really the news, but, updated things that might be happening that are current, looking up directors or movies or maybe film festivals, best candidates, things like that, maybe some other videos related to that. But in essence, I'm not totally carrying my phone in my hand unless I'm filming or something like that. But when that little red light, or just like now, so you can see as when that pops up there, it's hard for me not to click and see what it is. And I just got a text message and I'm going to respond. But when I do receive a text message, it's hard to see it. I can't let it linger. I don't like to let it linger. And so I try to respond as quickly as possible. Possible. So yeah, that is kind of what leads me into the next, I guess, topic you could say. How much of your past text messages do you keep? Do you keep text messages from like one friend and not another, from family members, from siblings, mother, daughter, son, father? Or do you, as soon as the day is over, delete them? Now, it just depends on, sorry about that, responding to a text message, because I don't like leaving people on read. I don't like doing that at all. But certain people, it seems like for a while, maybe a certain friend, I have one certain friend that I do not delete her text messages. I don't know why. It's not that I ever really go back and look at them or read them, but I like to have them just in case. Maybe just in case an unfortunate occurrence happens, and I can always go back and look at those, and then I can sit and be sad about it. I don't know. Who knows what I might do. But some people, I don't keep them, and it isn't of an importance level either. If it's anything, there's just, if it's something work related that I might need later, I might keep, or I might save and put in my notes. But I'm not one to really keep and save things of that nature. I used to be that way, and then I ended up having a box full of things that did nothing but made me sad when I look at them or go through them, or it was taking up room in the closet, and cobwebs getting in, and spiders and bugs, and then I would have to vacuum more and get out the hose, and it would just be an ongoing thing that would just take longer and longer and longer, and I would be cleaning more and more and more, and gathering more and more memorabilia throughout my life. For what? To store in a box that I'm not going to look at, to store in text messages that I'll never go back, and it says you need to clean out your memory, you have too much and all this, and then you've got to go through and you've got doubles and triples of pictures. So I don't usually do that stuff. I usually get rid of it right away. Don't be a hoarder with your text messages. If it's someone special, keep them, but for everyone, don't do it. I'm just suggesting not to do it. It's not good for your phone. It's not good for your mental health. Just move away from that. I think that's something you should do. I'm getting some messages. What do certain things mean? I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look. But the next topic that I kind of, I guess I could kind of say that I'm not going to say I'm passionate about it, but it's a kind of I guess it's a subject that I like to talk about, or like to think about at least. Um, and it's that of, and I think it's a pretty popular subject among a lot of people. It's that of murderers or serial killers or things such as that nature. Now, we've all seen movies, we've all seen TV shows. There was just the Dahmer show a few months back. BTK, Ted Bundy, all these people, and it's kind of like an act. Like, could you actually commit the murder of someone? So let's say, you first have to think about what you would have to go through. So we'll get to that in a moment. And then the next step, you would have to think, okay, if you did commit this said murder, how would you dispose of the body? What would you would have to come up with all these scenarios. What would you do if questioned? What would you do if some strand of DNA or a hair or, half a fingerprint or someone saw you? How would you have alibis and explanations for all these things? I think a lot of when people commit murders and such, they don't actually, a lot of maybe crimes of passion. So that's the number one thing you do not want to do, is to ever have like a crime of passion. Because for one, that's going to be good for no one. That's not going to be good for the person that you're murdering, because they won't be around. And it's not going to be good for you, because chances are you're not gonna make it out. You're going to serve some time. You're going to be behind bars, be behind the slammer. So that's what you have to think of when you're doing it. Sorry about this. So you have to think about if you get caught. So you have to think about a couple of things when you're talking about murdering someone. If you get caught, are you going to have an escape plan to try to get away? What's going to be your defense? And if nothing works, how are you going to survive the rest of your life in the slammer? Now, first and foremost, I don't think I could ever actually go through the actual murder of someone, because I don't have anyone that I dislike enough to murder them. I dislike a few people, verging on total disdain for, at least one or two people. But do I care enough about them to go out of my way to murder them? No, I don't. I don't have that kind of time. I could probably plan the perfect murder. And if I did commit the murder, could I get away with it? 100%, I have no doubt in my mind. But it wouldn't be something that I would take lightly, because I know that my life would be, in the balance. And who wants to give up their freedom to end up behind bars just because they were clumsy and careless when committing a murder? I mean, I'm not advocating any kind of crimes. I don't believe in that at all. It should be you behave yourselves. But if you were going to commit one, yes, if I knew that I had to, could I do it? I guess I could. That's the first thing. How would I dispose of the body? Well, you need to make sure. Now, it does seem for the most part around, I'm not sure where everyone is watching this, but we're in the southwestern part of Virginia, close to Kentucky and Tennessee, even West Virginia. So there's plenty of mountainous regions and areas to actually dispose of the body, and the wildlife could eat on it and easily dismember the body, and you should be able to get away with it. Now you have to make sure that you're not being seen. If you're driving there, how are you going to get the body there? Are you going to chop it up? Are you going to drag it out, put it in a suitcase, sleeping bag, duffel bag, multiple things. There's multiple things that you could do, but you have to think about that. How are you getting the body from point A to point B, the final resting place, I guess you could say. So I don't think that would be a problem at all. You would have to make sure that you leave no trace of hair, fingerprints, gloves, nothing with your clothes. I would even spray reflectives on your license plate, but I would suggest not using your own vehicle if you're going to do such a thing. And making sure, not like in Pulp Fiction in the 70s vehicle where there's blood everywhere and you have to clean up a massacre. So you don't want to, blow someone's head off, or, you don't want to be stabbing them 20 times if you're going to be able to commit the perfect murder. So it would be best probably to do, some kind of a poison. So therefore you're not wrestling or fighting, or you could get bruised, or you could get hurt, and there's nothing's going to be knocked down, out of place, no blood stains, nothing like that. So you need to make sure this person, is unconscious with the intent that you're going to, murder the said person. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not for murder. I don't want anyone to be murdered. Unless, I guess some people, I don't know if they deserve to be murdered, but I'm sure some people, if they were murdered, it wouldn't bring society down, right? I'm just saying. That being said, so make sure that you, like I said, you could easily dispose of the body. We live in mountainous regions with all 3 states, so that would be an easy task of getting away with that. The clumsy mistakes is going to be your downfall. That's really going to be the downfall of someone that's tried to commit a murder, did it, but tried to get away. Getting away with it is where you're going to get caught. So, after you make sure that there's no trace of anything, like I said, hair follicles, fingerprints, clothing, any detail of footprint, shoe print, anything that anybody could connect you to it. Also, you already need to have an alibi where you're supposed to be, or even have someone that kind of looks, someone that looks like you, a doppelganger that's going to be close nearby. Have them wander into the vicinity that you need your alibi to be. You should be fine. If someone wants to message me, hypothetically, this scenario, what would you do? I could probably do it better. I just have written down, if you were to murder someone, what do you think would be the most difficult part, and do you think you could get away with it? Yes, the most difficult part would be the cleanup, but that's why you don't stab or shoot anyone. Nothing where there's any blood. That's going to be your downfall, the cleanup. Now, after that, can you live a normal life knowing that you've killed someone? If it's an innocent person, innocent bystander, it would probably haunt me for the first, 6, 7 days, probably. After that, I should be fine. It might take up to 14 days. Now, if they were a deviant and a menace to society, and had no real worth, low of the low, um, I could probably sleep like, a little baby that took edibles or something. I could probably sleep that well, knowing that I did the right thing. But just a hypothetical situation, something to ponder, something to think about when you're watching your next serial killer. And if you're going to be a serial killer, why would you? I'll just tack this on asterisks. Why would you do it all in the same state, same city, same town? You want to spread it out. If you had a thing where a compulsion to do it, you would want to do it in random places throughout America, throughout the world, wherever you happen to be. You wouldn't want to do it. Okay, let's do BTK. Let's do 12 murders in Kansas City. That's not how to do these things. Use it. You got one. Use it. Let's see. We've got. Have you ever gotten into a fight with anyone before? I have gotten into a fight with someone. I got into a fight with. It was in. I'm trying to think what grade it was in. It wasn't so much of a fight, but it was more of. I was in ninth grade, and it was in the biology lab, or I guess biology. So you know how most biology labs, they had like the sink, and then the long, wasn't even a desk, but like a long marble countertop of those, faucets and the deep sinks. So this one guy, his name happened to be Adam too, just like that right there. And he kept on. It was weird. One of my the other day, a couple days, I have a couple of side hustles. So one of them, someone came in, and it happened to be this girl that this guy Adam had kind of harassed a little bit in class, and it said stuff about her chest and something about that. And I was like, listen, Adam, because I sat across from both of them. They both sat across from me. I said something like, listen, if you say it again, I'm going to punch you in the chin. If you say it again, I will punch you in the chin. And then he happened to say something again, and I just punched him in the chin, and he went back. Didn't say anything else. And never had a problem. Actually, I don't think I ever saw him again, because not much longer after that, I transferred to another school. So, but that was a time that I was in a fight. Not really a fight, but I punched somebody in the face. Another time happened to be, I've never really wanted to get into it with someone, because that's not really what I do. I'm not paid to do that. If I were paid to do that, then I would take a dive and lose, but I would take the big money. One dive, I'm done. Make out with like a band. With the cash, with the Johnny Cash. But, I'm not one to really fight. Now, I'm not one to back down from things. I had someone maybe about a year ago, they had came into my place of business and started something, because I didn't even know who they were. And I told them, to get the F out. And once I said that, they came back and they, almost got into my face and started with me. And I said, I will have you banned. I will have you banned from this place, this public place. You're becoming a public nuisance and making a spectacle of yourself. So, but other than that, I've not really been in many fights. I don't see, not physical fights. Verbal arguments, there's been one, two, there's been a few. I gotta be honest, there's been a few. And they're not pretty. Sometimes the verbal arguments can be even worse than the other ones. Maybe. I'm not one to think words hurt. They don't bother me. They're words. I know who I am, and if you don't, that's not your problem. That's not my problem. That's your problem. So why would I care about what you say about me when I know who I am? It doesn't bother me. Call me names if you want. In disrupting the peace, yes, but when I do like to try to take responsibility when I do wrong. So if I am punched when I'm wrong, I'll take it. I'll take the punch. Whether it be a verbal punch or a punch. I'd rather not be a punch to my face. If you're going to punch me, I'd rather you punch me in the stomach. I'd rather it not be the nose. It does stick out kind of long. I'd rather not be the forehead. Definitely not the ears, especially not this one. Had some surgery on that one. Stay away from that. So just maybe in the stomach. If you're going to punch me, just give me a good old belly punch. That's all I would want. But I would advocate, just like the first topic, these are all hypothetical situations, so we don't want any murder, and we don't want any punching and kicking and fighting. If you want to do something like that, just go ahead and settle the score with some kind of maybe Rock'em Sock'em Robots or some kind of a video game. That might be the best thing to do. And I like to incorporate things with food on the show quite often. Everyone loves food. Not everyone. Most people, I think, like food. They enjoy it. But there's also where there's some really popular foods that's like Americana. It's you've heard the phrase is Americana is hamburgers and hot dogs and the seventh inning stretch. Well, there's a lot of things out there that maybe yourself, but I haven't tried. Like the Big Mac and the Big Mac sauce. I have never in my life tried a Big Mac, nor the Big Mac sauce. And at this point in my life, there's certain things when you get to the point in your life, you're like, I'm not going to be doing this I'm not going to do it. You've heard the saying, you can never say never, but you can say never. You can never say never when it comes to food. Unless, that might be the last thing that I could possibly eat. And I've seen pictures and videos of how, the fast food lasts 15 years, so it's, possible. But I will say that I will never eat a Big Mac or slurp up Big Mac sauce. And the Whopper, I guess, is that the thing? Or BLT? Bacon, lettuce, tomato? Never had that. I've not had a lot of fast food things. Whatever the Burger King one is, home of the Whopper. Do they have some kind of something with specialty sauce? I don't like those things. It's not that they taste bad. I'm sure that they don't. I don't like tomatoes unless they're finely diced. Finely diced, teeny, tiny, diced tomatoes. That's the only kind of tomatoes that I like. And I think there's a few girls out there that like teeny tiny things like that also. But anyway, I'm trying to think of some. I wish I had a list. If I had another guest with me, I could see. Let's go here to the instant messenger, and someone's saying, no, pickles are another thing. Green is my favorite color, but when it looks like a pickle, a pickle just looks gross. It's rigid. It smells terrible. It's got, and then that juice, that juice looks like something like a frog would live in. Pickle juice looks like an amphibian had lived in that for a while, and it just doesn't look good to me. It just doesn't look good to me, and it's not something I think that I could really eat. And I have, eaten it a little. I've eaten like teeny tiny bites of it. But as far as, I did, and I'm not proud of this. I'm not proud of this at all, but I did, one time I did was at Dairy Queen. This was years ago, and I asked them for, I guess, a chicken sandwich. So, because I did eat chicken at the time from there, and I bit in after I got the sandwich, and pickles. For one, why would you put a pickle on a chicken sandwich? Who would put a pickle on a chicken sandwich? A dimwit. Maybe not a dimwit, but it's crazy. You don't put pickles in a chicken sandwich. They should come plain, and then if you want things on them, you should say, yes, please add this. Please add this. Not take away this. Why don't I just go ahead and have a pickle sandwich with a little piece of chicken on it? How about that? That's just as, logical. Let me have a pickle sandwich with a little piece of chicken on it, please. But anyway, I did go through, and I went back around, and they opened up the window, and I threw the pickle, and I think I threw the sandwich, because it's ruined. The bun's ruined once you have that pickle on there. It ruins the top part of the bun. It's got the pickle juice, the pickle smell. So you throw away the bun, and then what do you have? You have a chicken sandwich with one bun, and then you're trying to eat it like that, and then your hands are getting greasy. It's pandemonium. Anyway, it's almost at the end of the show. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back Wednesday. We're coming back with Real Talk, Jacob's Ladder. So tune in at 10:30 p.m. Wednesday. Casey will be joining. It'll be a fun show. I've never watched it. I'm going to watch it tonight. I'm going to check it out. Go to the Other People's Show on Facebook and the Other People's Show on YouTube and Spotify. You all have a good night. Adios.